Welcome back, guys. So we're looking at example 3. So using the tangent ratio to find side lengths. We're also going to do this to find side lengths and angles. So here is the procedure. It's much like what we were doing last day. We're going to label the sides with respect to the given angle. We're going to identify which trig ratio to use. Now today is going to be pretty easy because we're going to be using tangent all day. Last day we were using sine and cosine, and tomorrow we're going to mix all three of them up. Number 3, we're going to solve for the length of the angle. So use the appropriate tangent ratio to calculate the measure of the indicated unknown. So here's our triangle. Now you'll know that I don't know a couple of things here. That is implied to be 90, which makes this the hypotenuse. That's the reference angle, so this is the opposite side to that angle. And this is the adjacent side to that angle. So I don't know hypotenuse and I don't know opposite, but it said the indicated unknown. So that's going to be A in this case, the opposite. So the formula we're going to use is tangent. Tangent of any angle is equal to the side length opposite divided by the side length adjacent. Now that's a formula. That's something that you're going to need to commit to memory. So we're going to take a look at that and we're going to plug in our numbers now. So it's tangent, in this case it's 43 degrees, equals, the opposite is A, and the adjacent's 11. Now, this is a decimal. This is a decimal number. So we're going to treat it like a number. We're just going to leave it. That decimal is 43 tan. Now I could type it out and write it all in there if I wanted to. Seems like a bit of a waste of time when I can use a calculator. So I'm just going to leave it as tan 43. These two things are equivalent. Now, looking at the A is what I want. That's the unknown. That's what I want to isolate. So A divided by 11. So what's the 11 doing to the A? It's dividing. What's the opposite of dividing by 11? Multiplying. So it's going to multiply both sides by 11. That'll get me A by itself. And then I can do this any way I want. I can do 11 first times 43 tan. Now be careful. That is not the answer to 11 tan 43. That's just tan 43. I need to hit equals. So once again, let's look at that. 11 times 43 tan equals. And my answer is going to be approximately 10.3. Now they haven't told me what to round to, so it's up to me, and I think one decimal place makes sense, and my units are meters. Now the other order to do that in, if you'd rather, is take 43 tan, and that way you can see that decimal, and then multiply it by the 11. And that gives you your 10.3 again. Both are fine. Okay, next one. I'm just going to draw a line through them so that we can see the difference when we're looking back. Okay, so the next question that we have here, we're looking at the unknown side, this guy. That's definitely 90. That's my hypotenuse. That's going to be my opposite. And this is going to be my adjacent. So the formula for tangent is opposite over adjacent. That's a formula. So we're going to plug in what we know. Tan of 71 degrees equals 6.2 over top of x. Okay, so that's a little bit different. Our unknown's on the bottom. This is still a decimal. This is just a number. Okay, so we're not going to get too upset about that. But I need to isolate for x. And there's a number of ways of doing this. And we've covered them many times. I think one of the easiest things is to cross multiply both sides, giving us x times tan of 71 equals 1 times 6.2. Notice that the tan of 71 is on top, so we're going to divide both sides by tan of 71. Dividing both sides of tan of 71 is going to leave us with tan of 71 on the bottom. Now, there's all sorts of different mathematical procedures that you can use that are all equally good to get that, but you need to be able to do it. So the answer is going to be 6.2 divided by 71 tan equals, the answer is going to be approximately 8.1. And I have no units here, So if you really want to be on top of your game, you're just going to call it 8.1 units, which means whatever these units are, that's what this is in as well. Okay, so now we're on to our last example on this example number 3, a last part of the example anyway. We want the indicated unknown. Well, the indicated unknown in this case is an angle. It's not a side this time, so not much changes. The formula doesn't change. However, what we plug into the formula does. So we have, let's take a look at what we got here. This is my 90, that's my hypotenuse, that's my adjacent, this is my opposite. So I'm going to get the tan of angle A is going to equal 9/12. Remember, I need to come back to an angle, so we need to do the inverse operation. So it's tan inverse, you need to write that, 9 divided by 12, and all of this is going to equal angle A. That's going to give us that value. So 9 divided by 12, I have to do that first on my calculator. Second function tan, because I want the tan inverse up there, and I get approximately, angle A is approximately equal to 37 degrees. They haven't told me what to round to. I like to round to full degrees, and so the 0.8 will round that up to a 37 degrees. Okay guys, that's example 3. We'll stop here and we'll come back for the last 2 examples.